Today we will start our class laying down, so go ahead and get comfy. If you want extra props, like a blanket or a pillow or a bolster, sweatshirt, whatever you need, go ahead and grab items. And as always, find the variation of the evening or your day here. And does it mean bent knees today with your knees resting together and your feet out wide? Maybe your legs are straight, but maybe your hands rest in a new place. Go ahead and try a couple things and settle in if that feels right. If you like to close your eyes, maybe doing that. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, maybe just kind of blurring or not really focusing on anything specific, just kind of floating your gaze, or maybe even half closing your eyes. Sometimes that half close takes even more focus and attention. And tapping right into your breath. Let's, to the best of our ability, spend this next chunk of time here doing our equal breathing, inhaling for a certain amount of time, and then exhaling for more or less the same amount of time. So we'll go ahead and experiment with that. And drawing the air down low and slow, belly lifting and expanding with your inhales. Everything softening with your exhales. With each breath, just allowing body to press, maybe digest or what's the word I'm looking for? Figuratively. Well, now I lost my train of thought. Let's just breathe in and right back out. It's kind of like that chop wood, carry water. The job is never done. It's the work of, our lives, breathing every day. We can experiment with that beginner's mind, a sense of freshness or a new perspective. Listening inward, taking a body scan. Just notice if your body's talking to you in any kind of way. With your next exhale, relaxing your shoulders and torso even more. Like that exhale just takes out the stress and tension. Go ahead and repeat a few times if there's anywhere else you'd like to move through. And if you'd like to set a dedication or intention for your practice today, feel free to bring someone or something to mind now. Maybe a virtue you'd like to embody. Maybe it's something you can share with others, this embodiment. Maybe there's a person or group of people you really want to hold dear and send this energy to. Whatever feels natural. And if you ever don't have an intention, just pop up. My go-to is always be here now, be present, try to be in each breath, something like that. Feel free to adjust and use it if you'd like. And then we'll take 3 clearing breaths, inhaling fully through the nose and pausing at the top. And then exhaling through your mouth. 2 more like that with a pause at the top. And slowly wiggling fingers and toes, letting your head rock side to side a few times. Reaching into a long body stretch. I just feel like it's the perfect thing after a nice rest. Reaching arms and legs long in opposite directions, like you're waking up from a big nap. And then coming to a bridge pose next. We'll move any pillows out from underneath your head or your back and bend the knees. Pick up the pelvis just for a second. Kind of tuck your tailbone under a little bit. Set your pelvis back down. See if that helps relieve the low back. We will tuck the shoulder blades in. Press down through the arms and especially the upper shoulders and the feet. With an inhale, let's lift up, reaching the hip points high and tucking your chin a little extra at the bottom or at the top. And exhale, lower back down. Keep your pelvis lowered here. This time with our inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead. And with an exhale, lowering them back down. Let's kind of switch between the two. A little bit of coordination here. So planting the arms down, inhale, bridge, lifting the pelvis. And exhale, lower. Inhale, the arms this time up and overhead, any amount, any range of motion. And exhale back down. Let's keep doing that all rounds at your own pace. Take your time to set up or adjust. It doesn't have to be one breath to one movement. So it is kind of nice, in my opinion. Next time you're ready to do the arm sweep, we're going to switch it up a little bit, kind of like you're making a snow angel. We're going to inhale the arms around and up, and then exhale, lower them around and back down. And then a little bridge pose in between. Just a little sweep of the arms. Up with the inhales and back by your sides with your exhales. Let's do that one last time. Bridge and then the reach of the arms. All right, with the arms out wide here, let's grab opposite shoulders or opposite biceps or triceps. So just grab hold where you can. If you can, kind of reach up and line up your elbows in front of your face, or if you can do that like duck pose. We're just holding here. It might already feel good, just this hold position. For some people, it might feel nice to kind of pick up your head a little bit, tuck your chin and set your head back down. Reach your elbows high and then start to rock your upper body back and forth, creating that kind of band of massaging pressure between the shoulder blades. Ooh, this is doing wonders. I woke up with a little crick in my neck and I'm hearing a little cracking, which is a good sign for me. If you're ready switching your grip, feel free to pause with the arms out wide in a little counter pose for a couple breaths. And then switch sides. Grabbing opposite elbows, triceps, or shoulders. Again, reaching the elbows a little higher and then rocking the upper body side to side. If you have any points, any knots or tight muscles, it's really nice to have like a balled up pair of socks underneath your back. Trust me, if it's tender, just a balled up pair of socks will be plenty hard, plenty tall. Maybe we'll do that in an upcoming class sometime. And then when you're ready, opening the arms out wide, taking a couple moments, breathing, and imagining you could widen the collarbones just a little more with your next few breaths. Inhale, collarbones widen. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders. So it's more of an internal sense. Like I don't think you can see necessarily the movement for me, but kind of feels like a lot from the inside. Okay. Let's roll on to either side and press up to a seat. Feel free to sit up on cushions if you'd like. We'll do a little side bending here. So first, just tenting the fingertips off to either side, sitting up nice and tall, maybe stretching the neck out here for a second, and then settling in. Go ahead and close your eyes if you want to, and just feel your like buoyancy or lift through the spine and through the crown of your head. If you kind of stack or align your spine in just such a way, it becomes easier to remain in this upright position. So just kind of might have to swirl around a little bit to find that. And with an inhale, let's flip the palms, reach your hands high, looking high up if you feel good doing that. And then exhale, side bend to the right, letting the right arm lower, the left arm reach. With your inhale, we're going to stay on this side. Just press your right hand into the floor as you lift back up. And exhale, side bend to the right. We'll do that a couple more times, inhaling as we rise. And exhale on the right. One or two more. All right, let's come back up to center, breathing in. And exhale, side bend to the left, planting that left hand, reaching your right arm. Inhale as you lift up, pressing into the left hand. And exhale, side bend. Flow with your own breath here for a couple more rounds. Eventually coming back up to center, and then exhaling as you bring the arms down. Go ahead and start to do a couple shoulder rolls here. You can kind of let your hands dangle down by your sides or rest on your knees, circling in both directions at some point. Maybe closing your eyes again here. This doesn't have to look like you don't really need to look to see what I'm doing because yours will look different. Maybe you try to circle your shoulders kind of independently of each other. Kind of works. All right. We will grab onto shins or knees, or if it works for you, crossing your hands and grabbing opposite shins or knees. And then we're going to round back. So starting with tucking the tailbone under, rounding, and just go ahead and hold. If there are any points along the way that need that extra attention, or any way you can fine tune this experience, maybe by kind of pressing to one side or the other, go ahead. A little bit of rocking could feel nice. And we're coming forward, grabbing hold of the knees and pressing your chest on through, gazing up in front of you. And then if you remember, switch the cross of your hands and head back into that position. It's feeling nice to kind of shrug my shoulders. Oh, wow. Got some kind of, I don't know if you could hear that on my mic, but a really good feeling little pop. Okay, and then back to normal. Let's move along to cat and cow. Hands and knees. With our inhales, we'll head to cow, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, lifting the tailbone. And exhale, round the spine, cat pose, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, pressing your hands into the floor. Keep flowing now. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. We will eventually head to child's pose. If you want to be a little creative, you could kind of make a transition there. Maybe you kind of do a little cat and cow on your way. Maybe you alternate between the two a couple times, just kind of working your way into child's pose or extended child's pose with your knees out wide. Let's try to make this child's pose a little more alive. So maybe you find some kind of little movement here. Maybe with your inhales, you slightly lift your head or reach, lengthen through the spine. And exhale. Ooh, I'm noticing kind of a stretch in my low back. Just making it a little bit more dynamic. Experimenting with small, subtle movements. There's a style of yoga called somatic yoga. If you ever get the chance to take one of those classes, I highly recommend it. It's very, very micro movements, like very specific, very small movements to get like this felt sense of these different areas. Somatic yoga, or soma yoga, it's sometimes called. All right, let's come forward and down to your stomach. Crocodile pose for a couple of breaths, stacking your hands, fists, or forearms beneath your head, and then letting your heels roll out to the sides. Taking a couple breaths, maybe rocking your head kind of side to side, massaging out your forehead, if that sounds interesting to you. My neck just needs all the love, maybe rest as well. Okay, with the head still down, let's inhale and bend both knees so the feet are now up in the air. Tuning into your low back here. And exhale, straighten both of your legs, maybe touching the floor or maybe just hovering right above. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, straighten, touching down for a bit of rest or continuing to keep them lifted. One more time with both of them. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you lower. Option to keep the left leg hovering with your inhale. Let's bend just the right knee. Stay here, finding your own pace of breath. And then we're going to try pushing the right foot or the right heel up into the sky just a little bit. It's more like an activation, as if you were about to push. You can maybe feel that right glute feeling, really active. And then lower down, straightening both legs and letting your feet come to the floor. Take a moment to notice the back, your legs, your glutes. What are you noticing? Now we'll switch sides, starting with an inhale, bending both knees. Exhale, straighten both legs, hovering the right foot if you'd like. Inhale, bend your left knee. Exhale, press up. Keep breathing. I'm feeling like an immediate tremble. That's good. We're strengthening the glutes and the hamstrings. And then lower down. Let your heels splay out to the sides. Soften and melt as much as you can here. All right, bringing the hands to either side of the chest. Press the tops of your feet down now. Inhale, find your baby cobra. Stay lifted if you'd like for the exhale. Inhale, either lifting back up or hovering your hands up off of the floor. And then exhale, lower. We'll do that a couple times. Inhale, baby cobra. Staying here for the exhale. Inhale, hovering the hands. And exhale, lower. Take it at about 50% this next time. Inhaling, just a extra baby cobra. Stay there. Inhale, hovering, or come to the fingertips. And exhale, lower down. Take a breath in, press your way up to tabletop. And exhale, child's pose once more. This time, maybe keeping your knees a little closer. Rounding, kind of draping the torso over the knees. Potentially, maybe reaching your hands back towards your ankles. Sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it can feel a little claustrophobic. So always editing wherever you see fit. All right, let's come back up nice and slow. We'll start to think about heading to downward dog. Grabbing blocks if we want, curling the toes under, and coming up to our downward dog. We're going to ease into it here, so maybe bending and straightening the legs. Making sure your breath is flowing. Pedaling out those legs, maybe taking a moment to focus on stretching each calf. Bending one knee and straightening the other. And then walking your hands to the back of the mat, ending up in a ragdoll forward fold at the back. Maybe bringing the feet out a little wider. You could let your arms kind of dangle here or grab opposite elbows. If it doesn't feel comfortable to do forward fold, it's really nice to grab like a bolster or a couch pillow and kind of wedge it between like right at the hinge of your hips here and just kind of let yourself hang there. You can even bend your knees a little bit more. I recommend giving it a try sometime. And we're eventually going to come up to stand, transitioning up there in your own way. And then moving into kind of an intuitive shaking here. So maybe a good little wobble or shake through the shoulders. You could start with that lift and lower of the heels. Maybe swinging your arms or finding a willow, tree twist. Just feel like we're kind of stirring up some energy. Okay. Eventually, coming to the back of your mat, taking a look at your feet, give them a nice comfortable stance. With an inhale, reach both hands high. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus or goalpost the arms, squeeze the glutes, lift through the chest. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold, hinge at those hips. And then let your hands find a lowered position. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands all the way out to your blocks and then lower your knees. Inhale, rise up on your knees, sweeping the arms around and then overhead. Exhale, open arm twist toward the right. Keep breathing here. If it feels comfortable, looking towards the right fingertips. With your inhale, just turning your head and your gaze toward the left. Exhale, turn your head back toward the right. Working in your range of motion. Inhale, looking forward. And exhale, looking back. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, open arm twist toward the left. Again, gazing back toward the back hand there. Inhaling and then switching sides. So you can really go either way. Inhale to the left or inhale to the right. And then exhale in the other direction. And then with your next inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, lower your arms and come down to a child's pose. Big breath in and out. Inhale, high plank. Coming forward, you can keep your knees down or you can lift them up. Take a big breath in and out. One more breath in and out. Lower your left knee down to the mat. We'll do a little supported side plank. So the left foot comes behind your mat. Spin your right foot down. So your whole foot touches the mat. Like you're drawing a bow. We're reaching the right hand down by the left hand and then up and across the collarbones and eventually looking up. Breathe here. You might stay right here, staying really lifted through the left shoulder and hip, or you could lift that right leg up, that right foot up for more of a challenge. My favorite is setting the foot back down and then reaching my right arm up and overhead. It just feels like, oh, so good through the right hip flexor, the right side, the right armpit. Just feels magical. Okay. Come on back down, tabletop. Curl your toes under, lift up the knees, and exhale, downward dog. Big breath in and out. Breathing in. Exhale, bend your knees as you breathe out. Inhale, downward dog, just straightening the legs. Exhale, bend your knees, kind of pressing the air out. Inhale, look forward towards your hands, and then exhale, walk your hands toward the back of your mat, ending up in a forward fold at the back. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, so keep an extra bend of your knees, arms go wide, and then hinge on up. Exhale, bring hands down to heart center. Take a moment to yourself and just check in. Feel free to grab a sip of water or anything else you might need. Remembering your intention. Let's take a big breath in. We'll do a clearing breath here, but we'll inhale and reach high. Exhale, sweep the arms forward with a sigh. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands out to your blocks and lower both knees down. Maybe grabbing some knee cushioning here if that first side felt a little bit difficult. We're going to tuck the toes under here and first do a little foot stretch. So some people can like tuck their pinky toe down. I can't. My pinky toe kind of stays lifted. So as much as you can curl the toes under, go ahead and try that. Then we're just going to push the seat back. So we're feeling into the bottom of your feet. Everyone will be different about what feels right. You can kind of go forward and back a couple times. All that fascia on the bottom of your feet. If you're not really feeling it or you want more intensity, you can lift up off of the blocks and just kind of sit back. Whew. When you've had enough, go ahead and untuck your toes, tap your feet out, tops of your feet out. All right, let's transition to a side plank on the right. So right foot coming off of your mat, left leg straightening, finding the floor if you want. Let's draw a bow on this side, bringing the left hand down to your block or right hand and pulling that hand across the collarbones and all the way up. Staying here or finding variations, maybe lifting that left knee or left leg. Maybe at some point, getting that nice side bend, letting the left arm reach high. And when you've had enough, let's lower the arm, bring both hands to the blocks, or actually I need a little break off my wrist, so I'm just gonna shake out the wrists a little bit. We'll end up in downward dog here in just a few moments. If you prefer, we can head right to our forward fold at the back. So spend as much time as you want in your downward dog. And eventually bending your knees and walking your hands toward the back of your mat. Take your time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bending your knees deeper. Let's inhale, reverse swan dive, lifting high. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Checking in again. I feel like it's just so revealing getting to each of these pauses. My body just, I don't know, I could just see my tendencies happening. Let's take a clearing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. All right, let's prepare for a little bit of balancing. So today's balancing will be kind of a new thing. We haven't done this one before. According to one of my physical therapist friends, this one is a very common one given to people who are trying to strengthen their knees and just like maintain. It's really good for balance and helping your knees recover from whatever injuries you might have. So we're going to imagine that we're kind of standing on like an X or a cross. I'm imagining like west and east, north and south. And then we'll also do the cross quarters. So, we've got north, we've got northeast, east, and so on. So we've got all those different points, just like a compass. So essentially, we're going to pick up the right leg and just slide it to that first position, north. So we're going to bend the left knee just a little bit, tap that right foot down, and then stand back up. Then we'll go to the next one, bending your left knee just a little bit as you reach your right toes out to the next spot. And now we go way out to the side, bending your knee, touching your right toes down, and back up. Go ahead, just keep going, kind of guessing where you're at. And then eventually crossing behind yourself. So just, reaching back, coming forward, reaching back, coming forward. And then, of course, you'll have to switch at some point to crossing in front of you. That's really hard. And then back to the center. Okay, let's do the other side. We'll do both sides twice, but let's go to the other side here. So the left leg's lifted. Let's bend and tap north. And then come back up. This one's really challenging. Exhale, tap the next area. Back up, out to the side. Bending your knee just as much as feels good or helpful. Keep going. It's really hard to bend and like twist the foot when you get in the front range, but okay. When you're done, switching sides once again. This time we're standing on the left foot. Yes. Just work your way through. Takes kind of a lot of focus. Don't be afraid of that wobble. It's hard. I can see it really is using like all of the stabilizing muscles. Not even just in the leg, but like the core as well. All right, shake it out. Last side. Hope you're just going at your own pace here. This time, yeah. Left foot. This one's very warming. Working at your own pace. I don't know how you're supposed to do the cross one so well, but we're being creative. All right, give it a good shake out, and then we'll head on down to the floor. Right away, coming down to your back and hugging your knees in toward your chest when you eventually arrive. And And then massaging out your low back and sacrum by taking circles with your knees or rocking and rolling side to side or up and down the spine. All right. And then we'll end with our little twist. So bringing the feet down to the floor, arms could come out wide for support. Scoot your pelvis on over toward the left side of your mat, and then allow your knees to start twisting and lowering to the right. I'm putting a little extra cushion between the knees. Just feels like a good treat today. Extra comfort. It shouldn't be a treat, should it? And if you like turning your head side to side, sometimes that can be more effective than just holding a stretch. Maybe you let your head kind of rock side to side or find a nice stopping point. Arm variations are welcome. You could goal post the arms. It really changes what's happening. Or maybe even putting, interlacing your fingers and then resting your head in your hands with bent elbows. And go ahead and switch sides when you're ready. Coming back to center, scooting on over toward the right edge of your mat, and then allowing your knees to twist and lower to the left. Go ahead and explore your twist, movements, or stillness. And if there are any last poses or movements you'd like before our final rest, go right ahead. And eventually settling on into something like Shavasana or constructive rest pose, something comfortable. Maybe dimming your lights or adding in an extra pillow, or if you're into anything else, maybe grabbing your squishmallow or something. Blinking your eyes closed or halfway, or just a soft gaze somewhere. Returning to that relationship to your breath. And we practice and practice to a point that diaphragmatic, equal breathing maybe just becomes the norm. What if that was the default? Just like muscle memory with repetition and intention, maybe we can get used to that as a natural style of breath. Checking in with the upper shoulders, letting any found tension soften with your exhales. right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, both shoulder joints, the right collarbone, the left collarbone, your right arm, left arm, right hand, left hand, softening any found tension with a few exhales. Bringing awareness to the upper spine and the neck, looping around to just behind your ears, mentally tracing the line around your ear, the right ear, up and around the earlobe, and then down the right jawbone to your chin, to the left side of the jaw, left joint, and feeling into the sense of teeth in your mouth, your tongue in your mouth, the whole sense of your mouth. Going back to that left jaw joint, tracing your ear, left ear, all the way to the back of your head, up through the scalp, easing any excess pressure or tension throughout your head, your forehead, just a millimeter more space between your eyebrows. Cheeks soften, jaw softens, throat, chest, upper back, rib cage, mid back, stomach, and lower back, both hip joints, right leg and left leg, easing or melting some tension with your exhales if that works for you. And noticing the right foot and the left foot. All of the toes on both feet. Scanning up through your entire body, up through the crown of your head. And right back down. Just like the steady pulse of like sonar. You're inhaling and exhaling as you send those kind of seeking, searching signals throughout your body, seeing if there's anything to notice, seeing if there's anything you can work with. If there is, just kind of being with it for a few moments and seeing if you can clear the slate a little more. Anything that's no longer useful, just allowing it to begin moving out of your awareness. Please continue your rest as long as you'd like. Eventually reawakening, a little wiggle of fingers and toes, small movements, getting a little bit bigger with time. Maybe a nice yawn. Eventually rolling onto either side and then pushing your way up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Maybe your eyes stay closed as you join your hands at heart center. Let's take a clearing breath, sealing in our practice, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we have peace in our actions, words, and thoughts. Bringing thumbs up to third eye center, taking a little bow forward together now. Peace.